Hey everybody, welcome to BigGunner81 Live, presented by Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks, the range at 355, Eggleston Munitions, and our friends over at Spinta Precision. So, welcome everybody tonight. Before we begin, our buddy Corey is not going to be with us tonight. He's been here, he's here pretty much every week with us when we do this. He had a little bit of an emergency with his friends and family, yeah, I'd ask to keep him in your prayers. And so on. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about this Rimfire challenge match, Tarheel Rimfire challenge. And with us, we've got in the house, of course, Kent with us. Welcome, Kent, Green Mountain Defense.
What's up? Hey, Corey, you're in our prayers, buddy. Love you.
And we got Justin Childress, Chili, with us.
Hey, what's happening?
Welcome. And we got Ben Pistol with us as well. And you two were both at the match this weekend, of course. So I'm going to say, Justin, if you want to tell everybody a little bit more about the our buddy Brandon, by the way. Welcome, Brandon. You made it.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, welcome. Brandon's our web guru and fellow shooter, which I know you do some Rimfire matches and stuff too as well. So welcome. So as I was going to say, with Justin, if you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Tarheel Rimfire and everything, since you've been more involved with it than I have.
Yeah, it was held at Durham Rifle and Pistol Club, which is, I think the technical address is, in Howell River? Isn't that the address?
Something like that. It's like not the guy's house that my AGPS
Right.
took me to.
But we have a monthly match that's the second Saturday of every month.
How many stages is that match, by the way?
The monthly match usually 6.
Okay.
Usually 6 stages. And
what does it cost?
For non-members is 15, and for members of the club is 10.
That's awesome.
Yep, and youth under the age of, what is it, being 13?
I think it's, I thought it was 17 and under.
Is it 17 and under?
I believe so, yeah.
Shoot free.
That's cool.
So,
one of the things I'll add to that, too, like I know from going to the Tarheel Rimfire challenge this weekend with you guys, one of the coolest things about this sport is that it's very family-oriented. You've got people who are very young, and you've got people that are older. Everybody is pretty well equal to be able to come out and shoot. I thought it was awesome. I saw a father there with his 2 kids, and his son, he gets an award and he gives his dad a hug. And I just thought that was it's really special and awesome to see that. It makes me so happy to be part of this type of event.
It's definitely family oriented. We love to have the youth get out there, get them involved, practice their Second Amendment rights. Ben actually helps the youth a lot. He also runs a match up at Freedom Gun Club up in Lewisburg, up above Raleigh.
Awesome.
It is the first Sunday of every month, and he can tell you more about that match.
Yeah, Ben, if you want to talk about it, go for it.
Yeah, sure. So our goal there for that one, and that match actually is run by SFE Shooters, which is SFE, by the way, stands for Safe, Fun, Educational. And so what we've done is we have made it so that we've removed all of the bars to being able to compete. So what I mean by that is we provide the guns and ammo for youth shooters. So anyone 17 and under doesn't pay. We have 3 Victory pistols and 3 15-22s that the competitors can use. So that way the whole family can come out and have a good time. So that match is also typically 6 stages, and round count being similar to that of the DPRC matches. That's our overall goal, just to make sure that we get the youth out there competing as much as we can.
Cool. That's really awesome. And I know, I want to say thank you for all the work that you all put into doing these matches. Without people who are willing to organize and run stages and do all this stuff, we wouldn't have these matches. Wouldn't be able to do it. That's really a big thing.
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to Chris Mercado and his dad that runs the DPRC match. They do a lot, and they put on an awesome match. It ran smoothly. I think we were done with 8 stages by 1:30.
That's
2
right.
o'clock, something
like that. It was an awesome, well ran match. I had a blast doing it. That's for sure. I mean, I've never been to that club before. In fact, I'll tell you this. I mentioned a little while ago about the address ending at someone's house. So I was running late that morning. None of you guys know this because I posted on my other social media and stuff. I set my alarm clock for like 5 o'clock. It either didn't go off or I woke up and just shut it off. I don't even know. I wake up, it's like 6:08, and I'm like, I'm about 2 hours away. I don't know if I'm going to make this. I got my bag ready to go. I'm not even dressed, didn't even eat breakfast yet. I'm just like, crap. So I sent a message to Chris. He's like, Dad, just drive fast and get here. We'll see what we can do, Hopefully we'll be able to get you in. So luckily I was able to get there. I think it was like 20 minutes after at least at that point. And he's like, yeah, you're in this squad. Go over here. That's where they're at. And I'm like, I was like the second shooter up when I walked in the door, so to speak. But I made it, and I'm really happy I did because I basically said, you know what? Either I'm going to make it, I'll get to shoot, or I get to make it and I get to meet some people and have some fun just talking, and that's it. Whatever, I still want to go. And I'm really glad I did. I got to meet you and Chris and everybody, and I think it was awesome. Definitely well worth it.
Yeah, you need to try to come to all the monthly matches with us.
I think I will try to get to a monthly match for sure. I think that'd be a little less stress, and I'm guessing it wouldn't be as very long of a day because it's only 6 stages versus 8, right?
Right. I mean, the monthly matches there are still usually 50 people at least.
That's
50,
right.
60.
Do you guys cap it out?
Yes. He usually does, yeah.
I mean, Chris and them, yeah.
It fills up quick.
Yeah, no, I believe it because for that kind of a cost factor for like what is it, $15-20, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's reasonable to go shoot a match. I mean, especially with 6 stages and just go have fun. I mean, I got drawn into Rimfire because of the cost of it. Granted, the pistol and all that stuff and everything that that your gear can be expensive as much as you want, but the ammo cost is pretty reasonable. And I figured it was just kind of a good way to kind of get back into doing some of a competition and just have some fun and do something a little different. But speaking of which, I've had some problems with my gear. Now, I didn't place very well. I didn't expect to. Like I said, I came just to have fun. I realized now I don't feel as bad as placing as low as I did because I just discovered something about my pistol. I've had a couple issues. I just bought this 2245, as most of you know, and built it out with some Tandem Cross gear, which is Tandem Cross. Another shout out, I'm wearing their hat too. I mean, big shout out to them for their support and this for this match and for our channel and everything. So the problems I had with the pistol, unrelated to Tandem Cross parts, the bare pistol. So first thing, this problem. I took off the thread protector a couple times. I put it on, took it off, but I never over tightened it or anything. And there was no sealant or anything on the end of this. That's really disappointing. It's supposed to be something, not sealer, but like, I don't know, thread locker or whatever, epoxy. I don't know what they call it. So I'm like, great. Well, I'm probably going to have to send it back to Ruger to have them, reinstall that barrel nut, or whatever you want to call it, at the end of it. The second problem was, one was I bought a cheap optic just to try out, something to play with. I figured it's Rimfire. It's probably going to work okay. And I took it to the range, tested it out, got it zeroed in. It worked all right. Was happy. Okay, fine. So took it out to the match. Got through like my first string with it. Second string, I think I can't remember exactly because I just don't remember, but I think it was the second string with it. Took a couple shots and I wasn't hitting stuff. I'm like, what the heck? And then I realized then the dot I think went dim or wasn't lighting up or something. So I took it off in the middle of that run and just took it off, tossed it aside. It's my iron sights. Well, I was like, man, I'm having a hard time with my pistol. I'm like, maybe it's because it's a new pistol and I'm not quite used to it yet. I don't know. Well, then tonight I'm getting it out to be able to have it as a show and tell piece for the show. And you guys could probably see this, how far off that this is shifted over. I didn't notice it until I looked behind it, and now this is unloaded, so if I turn it this way, I'm not pointing. You can see how far that is off to the side. It's a wonder I was able to friggin' hit anything with it.
Actually, I had the same problem with a Mark III. I had a 2245 light, and happened to notice one day that the rear sight had almost drifted off of it.
Oh man!
So,
also I do want to say this too while I'm on the topic of that before we kind of switch back. I want to give a shout again to the guys at Tandem Cross because what I was having an issue is I with this barrel nut, we're going to call it. I don't know what the technical term is for it. I had put some Loctite on it and just tried to run it on to put it together and run it, and had snugged it up and everything myself, but not like overly torqued it or anything. So I didn't want to like, put too much pressure on it or whatever and mess something up. And it was starting to walk and like loosen up a little bit. It was kind of canted at one point. Like after I noticed or looked down, it was kind of sitting like this off a little bit to the side. So I'm like, well, it was still tight enough that I couldn't just like grab it and rotate it at the time. I'm like, what am I going to do? I want to be able to finish this match. So one of the guys at Tandem Cross, they had a booth there, and they grabbed another O-ring and put it in there to give it something to kind of like, act like kind of like a lock nut, or like a nylon lock nut or something, like just kind of give it some resistance so it wouldn't just back off. And that worked for the rest of the match. It stayed in place, didn't have a problem with it for that, to finish out the day, which was great. So I really have to thank them for helping me out with that so I can keep going. Now it's just a matter of sending it back to Ruger or whatever and have them fix this, whatever they didn't install properly from the get-go.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead. I was just going to say, while it's back there, have them do the recall on it if they haven't done it yet, or is yours not affected?
What recall?
There's a safety recall on the 2245s.
For what?
Force. Something with the safety, you could get stuck in a middle position or something like that. They contacted me about mine.
Hopefully I don't have to worry about it because I'm not using a factory safety anymore. I want the cornerstone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's why I want to just send the barrel back if I can. I mean, this is the cornerstone from Tandem Cross. I love it, by the way, just because like when it's on, when the safety's off, it's a really great thumb rest. It's perfect. I really like it.
Hey, there's one other thing to consider whenever you send that pistol back to Ruger. I don't know if they still do this, but back in the day when people would drop different triggers and, race gun parts in them, they would take them out and turn them back to factory and either keep the parts or put them in a bag separate and ship them back to you like that. So you may want to check on that and ask them what's going to happen.
What I want to do is send just the barrel and take my comp off and take the Halo charging ring off and just send them back their stock stuff so I don't have to deal with that because I don't trust them not to do that. It's unfortunate, but I get it. They want to put their stuff back to how it was and left the factory, and they can't rely on someone else's parts and whatever. Who knows? We live in like a litigious society, and everybody's too worried about stupid stuff. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I was really happy that Brian and Jake came down from Tandem Cross.
Me too.
They are some great guys, and they really do a lot for the shooting community, and they're always involved. So
yeah, he had a great speech. I kind of recorded it. Hopefully I can put it out there sometime. I want to put like a little thing together about some of the stuff, like just in a better video than what I did already, kind of about the match and everything, and I want to include that in there because he had a really good speech at the end about, supporting the Second Amendment and everything.
Yeah.
Really great guys. I actually invited him to come on, with us too. What's that, Ben?
I was just going to tell you, I just spoke to Brian today, and he let me know that he's going to send some equipment to a couple of the junior shooters.
That's awesome.
The match on Saturday, which is really nice. I mean, he wasn't asked to do so. I mean, you really cannot understate how much they do for the youth shooters. It's just incredible how much they do. So, so he's helped. There's 2 shooters that he mentioned specifically that he's sending stuff to. So I just thought that was wonderful. And if you go to the World Rimfire Championships, it's in Alabama last year, and it's in Missouri this year. But you get to hear a much longer speech from Brian if you get to go to the Worlds, and it is definitely worth the price of admission. So awesome.
Yeah, he seems like an awesome guy, and I'm really glad to have gotten a chance to meet him as well. And I got to also see him how he talks, with his customers, and just the passion that he has for his business, the sport, the Second Amendment. It speaks volumes, and I couldn't want to ask to purchase products from a better company. I mean, I don't know how else to word that, but it's good to see that,
one thing they do actually in Iowa once a year, there's a class. So I guess you could call it a camp, and it runs multiple days. And what they do is they bring a bunch of youth and junior shooters out there, and they have an intensive 2-gun rimfire clinic for them. And it's Tandem Cross sponsors the whole thing, but I don't know if you guys know who Dwight Starnes is, but he's an amazing shooter. He's an older gentleman. You can't forget Dwight. He's like 7 feet tall, or he looks like he is. He's probably more like 6'6", but he's a really big, tall guy. And he was, if I remember correctly, I believe he was the world champion in limited division on at least one occasion, but he's a phenomenal shooter. Always top 10 limited. But he holds the match, and they get a lot out of it. And Brian and I were talking about that today, and I'm thinking about having a clinic here in North Carolina that would do something similar with Chili's help and the help of some of the local shooters. We're very lucky to have a lot of local people here that could help out with something like that. So we're kind of a hot spot, quite frankly, for the two-gun rimfire in terms of just the talent that we have here. You know, you've got Chris Bercaldo, you've got Zach Grubb, you've got Tina Luck, who's one of the fastest ladies in the world. I mean, these are literally some of the fastest shooters in the world, and they're located, right here in North Carolina.
Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome. When I came down here from Illinois myself, back in the beginning of 17, and I've always heard this area is like pretty much like, I don't want to say Mecca, but like the central hot point of like for competitive shooting. And I was coming into this kind of like, well, Illinois, we were kind of like where I was at. There's a lot of competition stuff, but it was more brewing before I left. The club that I was a member of, started into 3-gun, and that was kind of growing when I left. I helped a little bit with that with some things. And it was a lot of fun and great to see it go from a club that didn't do any 3-guns to starting to do 3-gun matches every year and everything. And needless to say, you had a lot more newer shooters competing. Down here, there's a lot more veteran shooters competing, and it's a little more challenging, I think, if you're trying to go for like placement. I go for fun, and just do as best as I can do, and that's about it.
I think that's one of the things. Like, we shoot with these guys every month, so I mean, and they are so fast. So I think everybody pushes each other to get better and better, because one bad shot, you don't know who's gonna place at the top, because it's hundredths of a second between us sometimes. So I think that really helps.
That's awesome. I'm going to give a shout out to everybody out there watching too. Thanks everybody who's checking out the show tonight. Over on YouTube, we do have a live chat that's going right now. John Hillsmeyer is out there. Welcome. Thanks for watching us.
Oh, Johnny.
A few other people, I'm not sure. Yoda Man, 1996. He's out in Sanford, North Carolina. Looks like. Of course, Chris Merkel. I'm always going to mess up his name. Mercalado? Mercaldo. Jesus, man. I heard it like a few times this weekend. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, he's out there watching. Thanks for everything that you do for this and for hanging out and watching us tonight. We got to get you on the show at some point. I know I was a little late asking him today, for sure. Chris says pistol for president. Nice. And Zach Grubb mentions, says Mark 4 was the same way, threw some Loctite on there, and it's holding good. So he must have had the same issue I have with my barrel, and so on. And also Roosted Films is watching us. Asked how everyone's doing tonight. We're all doing pretty good, I think. So welcome. And then, again, if you guys got questions and comments, feel free to post them. I'll try to monitor them and respond to them and so forth, and go from there. But so
Rick.
Yes, Ken.
I just got to bring up the fact that these professionals are really elevating the level of chat, because we haven't talked about catapults or God knows what else.
No, we haven't.
It's been 20 minutes on the chat, and nobody said anything derogatory or ridiculous yet. I'm just saying, you boys have definitely upped the bar a little bit. So, congratulations. Yes. You brought some class.
Yes. I got a couple of questions for you guys if you want to kill a few minutes.
Yeah, sure.
As far as speed steel or rimfire goes, what kind of or what type of ammo would you guys recommend? And also, do you guys try to, when you're kind of in the beginning stages, do you try to shoot fast, or do you shoot slower and make sure that you hit each target before going to the other ones?
As far as ammo, all I shoot is CCI Blazer. I did shoot mini mags. I was having a problem with a bunch of wax, and also I had problems with that on standard. I know Ben shoots, I think, about all standard velocity.
That's right. Yeah, only standard. And really, the only time that you're going to get in trouble when it comes to CCI standard with the wax component is the wintertime, because the temperature makes it such that the wax is It's more solidified. During the summer months when it's like 100 degrees, it's not an issue. But if your gun is sensitive to it, it's important to make sure that you address it. But for me personally, CCI standard is the most, I guess, reliable in that perspective. And when Chili is talking about hundredths of a second, separating the shooters, the ammo is super important. I mean, you can use whatever you want to when it comes to practice, but quite frankly, I don't even fool around with the cheap stuff anymore. I think I go through right at 35,000 rounds of 22 a year. I don't know how much Chili goes through, but all I go through is just CCI standard.
Cool.
Yeah, with Blazer, I found that it didn't have as much wax as the other. So, and it runs in everything I have. It is a little hotter round because it's basically a mini mag, but just with a lead bullet. But so it does let up the comps a little bit worse. But I found it to run reliably in everything I have.
But your other question was about, I guess, really strategy when it comes to approaching a stage, and how do you approach it? How do you shoot it? And that's something that, I think the key component first and foremost is you really want to focus on getting on that first plate as fast as you can. That's the low hanging fruit, essentially. And you want to make sure that you hit all of the plates and don't have any pickups. But really what happens is when you have pickups, and what I mean by that is when you're shooting a string and you miss a plate, you have to go back and pick it up. It costs so much time. You're really much better off. A lot of times with new shooters, I tell them to slow down and just go one for one. And it's amazing how that benefits their time. When you start pushing for speed, though, I think it becomes important to just practice and go one for one as much as you possibly can. The whole theory, of course, is that you're running on the ragged edge, right? So you're going as fast as you can, and you're going as fast as you can without missing. And there's that old saying that goes, you can't miss fast enough to win. And that's absolutely the case in rimfire. Whether it's steel challenge or two-gun rimfire, you can't miss fast enough. Now, there's an exception to that rule. There's a kid, his name's Kanan Burchett, and he can miss fast enough to win, but that's Kanan. So Kanan, also one of the fastest shooters in the world. I think he placed 8th overall at the World Championships, and we shoot with him at the monthly matches too at DPRC. I forgot to mention him when I was mentioning the fast people, but there's so many, he'll have to forgive me. But yeah, going one for one, that's really what you want to do if possible.
Yeah, and usually that first shot, I would say probably you want your first shot around, what would you say, 0.15 to 0.2?
I can't do that. I can't do that.
But the first shot's everything, because I tend to, if I miss that first shot on that first plate, the rest of that string's ruined. Like I go all the crap.
Yeah, if your first shot from the time the buzzer goes off, most of my youth shooters, when I'm working with them, I think I've worked with something like 60 new shooters this year so far. When you're working with them, getting on that first plate under a second's the goal. So they'll usually start out when they start getting where they're getting it together. They'll be about 0.8 of a second. For a real fast shooter, if you can get on the first plate in about anywhere from 0.5 to 0.6 of a second, then you're doing really good. For me, that's, and my speed and Chili's is somewhat comparable. Although I think I'm convinced that Chili's a little bit faster than me, but we argue about that all the time.
We do.
But 0.5 of a second, and then if your split times is 0.2 of a second, that's pretty good. I mean, you got to figure the cyclic rate of an M16 is 0.1 seconds, right? That's the cyclic rate of an M16, and there are times when I look at Chili's split times and it's like 0.12. And that's transitioning from one target to another with space between them and still hitting what you're aiming at. He's just a little bit, just right about the same as the cyclic rate of a full auto. So that's fast.
Wow. That is impressive.
So are these 0.8 and 0.6s from a draw and from what kind of rig? Forgive me, I've never shot this kind of rimfire pistol match.
No, for rimfire challenge and steel challenge, you start from a low ready. So you already have your pistol out, drop down, they have a start sign out in front. And
so we're starting from low ready, not
from low ready, right?
Okay, I was gonna say holy shit, but that's still fast. Okay.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
forgive me, I'm the tactical Timmy in the group. I don't know.
I tell you what though, Kent, this is like one of those matches where, there's no running and gunning in it. It's all stationary from one position, So it's just I think it's a good way to practice some of your skills,
Oh no! All the stuff I'm sure translates, and I'm sure if you can run 0.2 splits on a rimfire gun, you could probably do pretty damn good with a 9mm too. So,
right,
no doubts there. Do you guys compete center fire much at all? Do you guys run 3-gun? Do you?
Not much anymore. Before I got into rimfire, I used to shoot 2-gun center fire, quite a bit. And then Ben got me hooked on rimfire, and that's been it after that. So,
now I shoot center fire. So I shoot some outlaw matches. I'm going to start USPSA next year, probably carry optics. So I've got my equipment together for that piece of it. Just have yet to do it because if you're going to do rimfire at a high level, you pretty much need to focus on that, specialize it on it if you're going to be serious about it because you have to put rounds down range. If you're pushing the top 25 in the world, you have to be doing it every weekend. And then also during the week, once or twice if you can.
That would
once
be
a
nice.
week is really, unless you're Chile. Now, Chile doesn't need to practice. Chile can show up cold, having not shot 3 months and win a match. But the rest of us mere mortals have to practice. But I do shoot some center fire. So centerfire matches, one of the ones I really like is, I don't know if you guys know who Perry Ketchmark is. He's the guy that runs SFE shooters. He runs USPSA matches. He runs a Heroes match, which is like a theme match, kind of like the zombie matches that they used to have at Oxford. I don't know if you guys ever run with that. It's like a USPSA light. That's really what it is. And then they also have 2-gun zombie matches. There's 2-gun night matches. The 2-gun zombie night matches are a lot of fun. They have those at 37 PSR. So I shoot all those, when time permits. I do shoot centerfire as well. I do okay. I usually top 5 or so, I guess. But you have to understand, I'm old and arthritic, and I move slow. So you're thinking of shooting carry optics in that though. So you're a man behind the dot. Me too. Good for there. Yeah, the cheater dot. That's me.
No, I call it the astigmatism dot. I don't give a shit. I'm blind as a bat, but I can see that dot.
I have an astigmatism in my right eye. Sure enough. So,
yeah.
So
welcome
yeah,
to the
exactly.
club.
It's a sad club, but I bought a Delta Point Pro, and it seems like it's going to work good for me. I got it on a M&P core, so we'll see.
So, by the way, we had another comment like a little while ago from Zach Grub. I'm gonna probably mess up people's names. Sorry, people.
Zach Grub, yeah.
Grub. Okay, there you go. He's chili faster now that he has shaved his beard.
I miss my beard. And what's bad is I got a patch on the back of my hat that says combat beard, and I can't even use that anymore because I don't have the big beard.
Say that last part again.
I said I have a patch on the back of my hat that I was wearing at the match that says combat beard.
Oh, combat beard.
Yeah, I can't even use that anymore because I don't have the beard anymore.
Oh, man.
Ben said I looked Amish, but it's all good.
I've been calling him Jedediah Childress for like months now.
Nice. I know. We do have bearded discussions sometimes, right, Ken?
It's funny you mentioned the Amish. I passed the horse and buggy working today. I'm up here in Pennsylvania, man. We still see them every once in a while.
Speaking of beards, the other day I was talking to the new girlfriend, and I was talking to Corey just before I was talking to her, and I said, "Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Corey," and she's like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" I said beards and stuff. She's like, "That's the best answer ever." So
I had a $10 bet with TJ that you would work in the term "new girlfriend" in tonight's show.
I'm sure you guys would. Definitely.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
So, yeah, that's funny.
So,
where can we buy those 1022 mag carriers? Oh, which ones are we talking about, Zach? Are you talking about the ones I'm still developing, this one or the small one, which I don't have one sitting here. I'm working. This stuff I'm working on. This is my. Since we're talking about Rimfire, this is my first prototype of this carrier. I have one that's smaller. That basically, some of you guys may have seen at the match. That basically fits. It's about the same size as like the center portion. In fact, these are the same dimensions because it's basically the same thing. I just designed it, made it bigger. This one we're doing is we got 8 pistol mags. I made it a little bit larger than the mags for the 2245, just because, like, for example, my Sig Mosquito, they're a little bit like fatter than the Rugers, so those will fit in here as well. So it can hold 8 pistol mags and 6 1022 mags. This one doesn't have straps on it like where it would like the other ones do, where you can strap these in. It's more like a quick access type thing to be a caddy, like when you go to the range, like these matches. And this pocket up here can fit like, you know, packs of 22 ammo in it and whatever like little accessories and stuff you may want to put into it. It's not very heavy. I didn't weigh it, so I don't know exactly what it weighs. I'm still kind of developing like the design. Like I might change the handle up a little bit, but as Ben mentioned to me off air, I think you mentioned this to me if I remember right. One of you guys did about it being kind of like collapsible, so it's not a rigid handle on it. So you can fit it into a range bag and carry it with you. And that's one of the ideas. And the other one is the footprint of this one that I'm working on here is designed to fit inside of a 50 cal ammo can. So some states, like I believe California, again, I don't live in California, so I don't know the rules exactly, but from what I heard, you know, you have to keep your ammo separate from your guns and lock it up. So you could have, like, you know, your 22 gear ready to go inside of a 50 cal ammo can that's lockable and keep it separate from your pistols and firearms and everything. So that's kind of something I've been working on. As far as where to get them, these are not yet on the website. The smaller ones that are like the little 6-pack deal for the 1022 mags, I'm still working on putting those out there too. I got to make a few and get them listed out on the website as well. But they'll be there soon. Go to BigGunner81.com. It's kind of like my blog site, and also has an online store, which Brandon actually helped set that up too. So I don't know if you want to tell them a little bit about it. I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot to say probably, but.
Yeah, it's there to, you know, add products to. We're trying to get some more images and more products in there. So some of the other stuff that you've got is the Freedom Cradles, which I thought was pretty cool. And
yeah, I don't have one here to show, but you can check it out on the website. Yeah,
I don't have mine around either. And then we were going to do some other stuff coming up too. The pocket dump thing.
Oh, the EDC organizers.
Yeah.
Yep, that's something else we're working on. I don't have one sitting here, unfortunately, because I wasn't planning on talking about this whole lot tonight. But I do have one of my pistol stands rather. And we also got some mag caddies and things like that for other firearms as well. But this is just like for like the 2245, and I think it also will fit on my Mosquito also. I haven't tried it with a whole lot of others, but this is just a real basic pistol stand, you know, that I kind of put together. And we've got some for like the Glock and the 1911s and stuff like that too, outside the rimfire world. But I also want to make just a caddy for the 2245 pistol mags. I haven't done that yet. The nice thing about the 1022 caddies is you can use it for, like, you know, take them to the range. You throw them in the range bag. They have a strap that goes around them that holds them in place. Strap's long enough so if you've got like base pad extensions on it or something, you can still use that. If you have like a 25 round mags that they have, now the strap won't hold those in place, but you can use it to like organize your safe or your shelf or whatever storage, you know, when you got them at home and you want to kind of have them all nice and neat. It's a way to kind of keep everything together and not like in a big mess. So yeah, you can check out the website at BigGunner81.com for that stuff.
So I'm just to let you know, you're going to have to make me one of those everyday carry organizers. I got to have that. Literally must have that. I'm going to order that right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get one made up. Yeah.
That thing is awesome. Have you seen it, Chili?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing around with the design. I love it because some people like me say you don't want you don't want to have a pistol out in the open if you got kids in the house or whatever. It still is very useful. Like you can set a cell phone on it and charge it up. You could put light on it, light in there. Like, and some lights are rechargeable. Like I've got some O lights that are use a USB connection, and there's a way to route the cord through the inside of it out the back. So like I can lay my light down and have the charger cord connected to it. I can have my phone set up on the cradle and just have the plug in the bottom of it. And then if you have like keys on like a key ring or something, you can hang it off either side of it. It has a spot to lay a wallet, or a pocket knife or change. It's like you're not really stuck to having any one thing in any one particular spot. It can be just however you want to lay it out on there. It just gives you a few different ways of doing it. But it has a pistol cradle built into it. Now, a pistol cradle was kind of built to be like a universal type deal. So it'll fit like a little snub nose revolver. It'll fit like a Glock 43, a Glock 19, a full size 1911. Pretty much any pistol that I've had that I could lay down in it will fit. People ask, well, can I put it in with the holster? I haven't tried every holster, so I can't tell you that. But I can tell you, example, my Glock 19 with the Kydex holster, which is made by Ares Tactical, fits in there and it cradles it just fine. So you still have a full sheathing around the trigger and everything. But it's even nice that even if you don't want to have your pistol sitting out there, but say you carry a pistol and you want to be able to like go ahead and change your clothes or something, and you want a place to lay your stuff while you're in the process of doing that and then reholstering up your gun on you, it gives you a place to set it temporarily even. So that's just kind of like what the whole idea is of it, just a way to organize some stuff. I've seen a few similar products out there that people like have done, and I just want to do something of my own and make it a little different, and that's kind of what I did. So yeah, I definitely want to make them. They take a long time to make, unfortunately. They take about close to 20 hours to make one. So it's not something I can produce a lot of, but I can, I'm not expecting to sell hundreds and thousands of them, but I can do them, run them off here and there and have a little stockpile of them to go. So the website, anything I put on there, I have in stock. Generally speaking, that's kind of the goal, so that we don't oversell something. I don't want people to like order like 10 of them and then I can't fulfill it right away, So, but yeah, thank you for the positive feedback, Ben. I appreciate hearing the words about that design, because that took me some time. Believe it or not, I've got, I think, 4 or 5 different versions of that before I got to the current one.
It looks like too, because there's, on the right hand side, there's like a little piece that comes up there. I could take a Glock 43 in a Vetter holster, turn it upside down, and actually take the belt clip and clip it onto that little thing, the little side piece.
You might be able to.
So I'm saying, yeah, thinking about doing that, so I wouldn't have to take it out of the holster.
Right, exactly. I mean, like I said, I had my Glock 19 sitting in the holster, just cradled in there, sitting there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it'll fit that. So it probably would fit with the 43 or many other pistols for that matter. If it's like a Kydex holster that's just like the shell style, not like if you've got like the double J hooks or whatever on it, and it's a big holster, that probably won't fit in that so well. But I mean, unfortunately, since I don't have every single firearm out there to try, I can't tell you if every single one's going to work. But it's more of like a universal fit, So hopefully, I mean, I'm glad you guys like it, though.
Got something from chat here. Not to change the subject, but your boy John Hillsmeyer says Pistol and Chili need to rap battle for us.
I see that.
We're not as talented as Hillsmeyer is.
No.
He's very talented.
Nobody's as talented as Hillsmeyer is, that's for sure. So I don't have any action figures, like no He-Man action figures I could bust out either.
So what you're saying is there will be no rap battle?
No, not tonight.
Wow, damn.
Which
John's a good guy though. He stayed here whenever he was on his way back to Massachusetts. When he went and shot nationals down in Georgia, and man, he's a good guy. I think he's coming back in the end of September to shoot the North Carolina State Steel Challenge match.
Nice.
I think he's just stay here. So
hopefully I can get a chance to meet him. He seems like a pretty interesting guy. I'm hoping to get him on the show too.
Oh yeah,
soon. We talked about that. I don't remember if I talked about it this week or when. I get lost sometimes on all that because I get so busy with other things and don't always get to work on this. But John has got a good video about the tandem cross Thunderhammer. That thing just cracks me up. It's perfect. He does like this whole Spanish wrestler thing, and he's like the Thunderhammer. And I can't even do an impression of it. It's just funny.
John's a good guy. I got my work cut out for me in September.
Yeah, but if you guys could please have a small GoFundMe for bail money for me and Shelley and Hillsmeyer for September, that'd be really a pretty good thing. It's going to be out of control. I have a suspicion.
So which match is this in September again?
The last weekend of September, I think it's the 28th through the 30th, maybe. Is the North Carolina State Steel Challenge match is being held at the Carolina Guns and Gear Range in Ramseur.
Okay. And this is that a Rimfire or is that Centerfire or what is that?
No, that is Steel Challenge. So Steel Challenge has a whole lot more divisions than Rimfire Challenge. You can shoot.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. So
it has Centerfire too. But
yeah,
it's
so
going to be a level 2 match, 8 stages, and quite a few sponsors on board for that match, and they're going to have a good prize table and payback and everything else.
Do you happen to know what that cost roughly for that match?
I believe it was $50 a gun.
That's right.
Really? I don't think that's all that far from me either.
No, it's probably
closer than the other one.
Hour and a half, maybe, from you.
Yeah, I think because I've seen Carolina Guns and Gear. I've passed it going out to Woody's Hunt Club sometimes.
Yeah, they have a monthly Steel Challenge match there, the fourth Sunday of every month.
Maybe I need to enter into this match. Go shoot with you guys.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive, I'm trying to rationalize in my head.
There's
not that much money. I've got some ammo. I got guns. I should just do it.
That's where I do most of my rationalizing in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brandon, you awake over there? How's that PCC running, dude?
It's doing pretty good. I've not had any issues out of it. There was another guy at the range this weekend that was shooting one that said that he bought one after getting some issues with his high point carbine. So that's a step up. But mine's doing good. So what about you?
Same. I keep waiting. One of us is going to have a problem eventually, but maybe not.
Didn't you say that your handguard was getting loose on occasion or something like that?
Yeah, but that's just it is what it is. That bolt
quality control.
Yeah, Ruger's quality control. Exactly.
Like I have with my barrel. Sorry, I like Ruger stuff. So,
the same guy that same Friday put the Loctite on your shit and my shit. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah, right.
Now, I will say that I've been watching the PC carbine forums, and there are a couple of people reporting extractor issues after 15 or 3,000 rounds. I don't have quite that many on mine yet, so I don't know. We'll see, but that's the only thing that I've seen, really.
I'm north of 15. I'm not quite to 3 yet, but I'm in that range.
Do you actually keep count of that, like legitimate count, or just kind of guesstimate?
I have a notebook that I literally fill out every day with every range trip, rounds, and the whole.
No, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I'm fucking doing T&E and I'm trying to show people what works and what doesn't. I have 11 followers that need to know this shit, Rick. Come on, man.
Yes, that's true. I'm like, that sounds like when I first bought my Corvette and I wanted to keep every receipt for the fuel.
No, it's just. It started way before the channel and shit for me. It was a matter of not remembering what broke and what didn't break and what status what was. Now I can just go to the notebook and be like, oh yeah, that's the last time I shot this. I don't know. I just do it.
Which, by the way, Chris had said earlier when we were talking about the different categories for the matches. He goes, it's not that expensive unless you shoot 8 guns. Yeah.
Who, Chris Mercado?
Yes.
Yeah. He's the one that tries to shoot every division there is.
And Vinny Barley says PCC equals Lead Star Arms.
That's right. Vinny's exactly right. I have one. He's right.
Yeah, Lead Star Arms makes some really nice stuff. I like it. I definitely do. I'm running right now for my PCC which my PCC still needs a couple things to really get it dialed in where I want it. Different trigger and an optic of some type because I don't have anything that's dedicated for that build. But I've got a quarter circle 10 set up for that. I'm actually still trying to build a basically like I guess you can call it kind of like a truck gun, like basically a short barreled, AR pistol build with a 9mm. So I've got a DR Guns or DRG manufacturing, I guess you'd say lower, that I'm building on and so forth. And Chris also commented something too just now. I saw something where he said about gotta rack up those Grandmaster classifications. Yeah. I don't know.
Anybody else run an NPX at all, or am I the only one? No.
Well, we used to have several people that were running the NPX, but they just struggled with reliability issues. In fact, I can think of 4 of the people that shoot Steel Challenge with us had SIG NPXs and eventually moved away. They went to Lead Star and JP, if I remember correctly.
JP's good stuff too.
The MPX is real reliable if you only run 124 grain and you download the shit out of your mags and you sacrifice a goat before you shoot it.
Yeah, so if you have to do all that, like when I hear things about like 124 grain, if you have to run a specific ammo, to me it seems like the reliability is a lot less.
Yeah, you know what? In all honesty, mine runs a shitload better suppressed. I have my Gemtech GM9 on it permanently with the Midwest Industries handguard now.
With 124 grain?
No, with 147 grain, the same shit I carry in my pistols.
Oh, I'm sorry, 147 grain, not 115 grain?
No, not a carry load. I want a big hole, man. No, right? Honestly, it's just what's suppressed. Yeah, it is. There we go. There's Rick. All right. Catapult talk coming in 5, 4, 3, 2.
No.
These poor guys don't even know what we're talking about.
Sometimes we go off on tangents and talk about non-gun stuff where it's kind of sort of almost related. I don't know. I don't know how the hot dog is a sandwich is even a gun-related thing, but the catapult has to do with like I don't know where it started. It basically was talking about launching cats. I don't know.
We were talking about stuff that we could shoot that was not federally regulated in any way. And Corey said cat launcher, and then it just got fucking weird.
It came from. Yeah, it came from Corey.
Yes, it was Corey's fault.
The guy is not here.
No, but then 2 chats ago, the guy was asking, he was like, hey, is a hot dog a sandwich? So,
yes, we had that discussion. Once we get off-topic debates, especially when we run out of stuff to talk about, which we never really do anyway. So, yeah, we actually had a lot of chat going on tonight in the live stream. And now we also normally I have this up on gunchannels.com, and I didn't get a chance to put that up there tonight. But for those of you that aren't aware, there's other platforms outside of YouTube that you can check out. Gunstreamer is one. I don't think they're doing live streaming through Gunstreamer right now, but Gunstreamer is kind of like the YouTube for gun owners. And so I'm just going to kind of do a little sidebar chat before we wrap stuff up tonight too, a little bit about channels and so forth in general when it comes to guns and gun channels, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so for example, like there's been a lot of attack on the Second Amendment in recent times, as we know. YouTube is one of the places this happens. This is why I'm on my small channel right now, right? The one that doesn't really have any subscribers, because it's just more or less for doing live shows as a backup plan, because our main channel got a channel strike against it, which basically means somebody reported a video for some stupid reason, and even though I wasn't really breaking rules, they just determined that I was breaking rules, and nobody at YouTube really cares when it's guns. They're like, yep, we're just going to err on the side of caution. Your video's taken down, you're getting channel strike. So you get 1 channel strike, you can't do live streaming. I forget what happens when you get 2. When you get 3, I think they end up pulling your channel or whatever. It's gone. All your videos, everything's gone. So we set this the backup channel, which is ironic because you can set up as many channels as you want pretty much with YouTube. I don't know. I don't think there's any limit. But this channel has no effect of, like, if it gets a channel strike on this channel, it doesn't affect my other channel. It's just kind of strange how that works, but good for us, right? Because
don't give them any ideas. Shit.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what my next thought was when I was saying that. But I'm sure that someone's already thought about that, whatever. But you can have a backup channel like this one. So it's a good idea to diversify if you have a gun channel or want to put out any type of gun-related content. And GunStreamer is one option. What's really nice about that is if you do upload a video, like to YouTube, for example, you can copy the link and bring it right over to there and build up your video collection on your channel on GunStreamer. Having said that, one of the downsides is I feel that, personally that when you post videos on a place like, gun channels or GunStreamer or something that's gun related already, you're not bringing it out to the mainstream. YouTube is more mainstream. More people go on YouTube than just gun people. But at the same token, of course, there's a lot of censorship with YouTube and everything else. But nonetheless, it's still good to be able to have a place for the content to be posted and out there, and it's a good idea to kind of at least have multiple platforms for it.
If we move all the content though over to something that's entirely gun centric, all we've really done is cut our legs off because now we're in an echo chamber.
Exactly what I'm trying to say. You put it in better words than I did. Exactly.
At least here, like with my channel, thankfully I haven't had a strike yet, knock wood, but I'm at least here every once in a while we reach somebody who's outside of our target core audience.
We do.
And maybe we show them that, besides the bravado and the jokes and the, we only harmed like 3 cats in the making of that video. So the PETA people shouldn't be too mad at us. But other than the silliness and the bullshit aside, like, hopefully we put out some good content every once in a while. And we do an articulate job of representing the 2A community, and folks might come across us and go, "Oh wow, all these guys aren't retarded knuckle draggers."
Exactly.
And, that's what we're being painted as. I mean,
we're actually real people.
Yeah, you go into the other echo chambers where people talk about us with us not present. We're all a bunch of dumbass redneck hillbillies, everything else. And that's ridiculous. Every man on this thing has a real job, a real family. Brandon, you guys all know what you're doing, have a real personal life. Aside from guns, you have a profession, a whole career, and this is just part of who we are, but yet we get painted into a corner. We can't let YouTube paint us into a corner. So, fuck you, YouTube. There. Okay.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry. I've been wanting to say that on one of these for like 4 times ago, and we just haven't talked about it. So,
anyway, yeah. So that's the whole other aspect of this stuff. One piece of advice to anybody who wants to do a gun channel: save your videos if you end up using YouTube, because when they pull them, there's no option after that to get them back. So if you just literally just upload it and erase it somewhere, you're not going to have that. If it gets pulled at some point. I keep a backup of all the videos I edit and put together, because it is a labor of love to put videos together. Like, literally, there's not really much into it other than just having fun with it, and it is a lot of work too to edit things. For example, when I was doing my tandem cross video about my build for this pistol, I went ahead and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a build video, show how to put everything together and do all this stuff. And I'm filming it, and I'm like, okay, I've got about 3 hours of footage here, maybe, like, between all the mistakes and dropping something or whatever, I don't know. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it was a lot of footage. So I start editing it down, and I'm like, yeah, even if I section this off into each different sub part of this thing and everything, it's going to be boring. No one's going to want to see this. So I'm like, you know what? I got to take this a new approach, because honestly, Tandem Cross did a really nice job on their videos on how to install their components in the first place. So people should just go there and check it out on their YouTube channel. So my thought was, well, maybe I'll take this a different direction. I'll use my footage from assembling it as B-roll footage and kind of talk about some of the things that I see, not as an expert, but as someone who just bought this pistol and, bought it to go out and do rimfire matches with and just have fun with. And, just different things I didn't like the safety selector. I like ambi safety selectors, but I didn't like how this one felt that came from, out of the box. The trigger differences, the grip difference, and all that kind of stuff. It's all in the video, so you can all see it on there. But I just took it a different direction, just kind of did the talking points, made it a 10-minute video, and used some of that footage for it. And I'm happy with how it came out. So
Ben's got his lead star over there.
Does he?
Sorry, that's a cool color too. That's nice.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, start talking so we'll get a full view of it.
Yeah, this is my Lone Star PCC for Steel Challenge, and also just because reasons.
Yes, but, I love black and blue, so I want that.
Yeah, and it's got a gray Seymour on it because that was the Seymour that I had.
Yep.
But I know they make a blue one, but it's got a hyperfire trigger and shoots really nice now. PCC.
What barrel is that?
This is actually a Palmetto State. Chad Wiley at Palmetto State put this gun together.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's there's a Lead Star, obviously.
Love the anodized blue, and Lead Star just makes cool stuff. Period. Anyway.
Yeah, they do. They make really nice stuff. But I got this because I wanted to, and I did a lot of shopping around when it came to PCCs, and I wanted something that would just run out of the box. And I didn't want the weight of a JP. JP makes wonderful stuff. Don't get me wrong. But Steve Foster actually shoots JP, and he's a beast. If you guys can know, Steve Foster's an incredible competitive shooter. I think he shot Steel Challenge all 8 stages in the 60s, mid-60s with a PCC. So that's insane. But I think it might be a record. I'm not sure. But at any rate, he's shooting a JP, but it's heavier. And I wanted something that was lighter, so if I wanted to do these silly outlaw matches that I do, like these zombie matches and stuff like that, that I could shoot something like this if I wanted to. It does have a Lead Star compensator on here, though. It's kind of tough to see probably in the feed. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. It has a wonderful trigger, right out of the box. I haven't done a lot of ammo experimentation with it. I got it. I took it to CGGR. I qualified as master first time I shot the thing, and I went to South Carolina and placed second in the master division at the state championship. So, I'm happy with it. I'm not a GM yet, but I don't shoot that much Steel Challenge. I just go to matches and show up and shoot, and that's about it. So I haven't really been working on my classifications like I should have. I'm a little bit derelict in that. So
I got to ask you, can I shoot that sometime?
Dude, you shoot anything I got, man.
Awesome. I love that. That is awesome. That is just I love the color. The blue is my thing.
Blue's my thing too. Chili's. Now Chili, I don't have quite the branding that Chili has. So Chili's a brand. Okay, he's not just a person.
Yeah, I kind of gathered.
Complete marketing strategy, right?
He is. He really is. And I'm so proud of the fact that I created that monster. In fact, so I got Chili into this whole thing. Bless his heart. And,
usually my colors are lime green.
That's right.
And except for my Volquartsen Scorpion, I ended up getting a red Seymour for it, so I had to kind of go with the red theme on it. But everything else I got, it's got lime green somewhere on it. Rick, you was talking about that cornerstone earlier on yours. So this is a prototype. I don't know if you saw it at the state match, but this is for the victory.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's
they haven't released it yet. They sent me one. They wanted me to try it out and everything. But
by the way, I'm going to give a shout out. Our buddy Billy Striplin's out there watching too right now.
Billy's the man.
Yes, I haven't yet installed that thumb rest, but I've got it, and I'm looking forward to putting it on.
Yeah,
I just didn't get a chance to do it. That's cool. Your old branding on the side of that. That is awesome.
That's actually embossed.
Embossed, baby.
Yeah, Billy done that one for me.
Like a boss.
Yep. This was a factory victory barrel that Billy redone. I don't know if you can see his logo in there, but he actually machined it and put a carbon fiber sleeve on it.
Wow.
Built the comp.
That is nice work.
That's his thumb rest and everything. And so I got this my open one. And of course, got a limited, about the same setup, except it does have the Game Changer Pro on it.
Nice.
Same setup.
Looks like something Han Solo would carry in that bar in Star Wars.
Right?
Just saying.
Yeah, I really like his mounts and the 90-degree mounts.
That is cool. We had someone at the match asking about that because they had that same sight, the Seymour, and they were like, "Hey, I want to get what do you guys make?" They asked the guys at Tandem Cross, and they said, "Well, we don't make one, but Billy Strickland has got."
Yep. So with this one, I sent it to Billy. I did have the Seymour vertical on it. It was direct mounted to the receiver, and I had a problem with the front screw stripped the threads out. So I sent it to him, and he actually, if you could see, he machined the rail and direct mounted that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is cool.
So it's unloaded, by the way. But if you look, man, that sight is almost on that gun.
So that's just awesome. Your low bore axis, which gives you a better point of aim at distance.
Yeah,
right.
I think
and also quicker from the get go. Like the closer it is to the bore axis, we're talking about how important it is to get on that first plate. That's so nice because it gives you height over bores is kind of difficult when you're mounting Seymours and things like that. So sometimes people are hunting for the dot. You ever done that before? You pull up your red dot pistol and you're kind of dipping the muzzle trying to find that dot. When you mount it that way, 90 degrees, it makes it so much closer to the bore axis. It makes it much faster to pick up. And that's everything when it comes to Steel Challenger 2-gun rimfire.
I can totally relate to that just from my limited experience with that green dot I had on here. I'm like, every time I'd go to get that sight picture of it, it was like I was hunting for that green dot to see where it was, and that was just slowing me down versus where I was hoping it would help me. And it seemed like I was shooting better with just my iron sights at that point.
Yeah. So Billy makes some awesome stuff. I sent my rifle to him, and it's got a Taxol SPX barrel.
Nice.
And he actually machined a flat on the top of the receiver and direct mounted the Seymour to the receiver.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I think I saw pictures of this out there, didn't I?
Probably.
He put some up on Facebook and whatnot of this. Yeah.
Yep. And this, man, whenever you get your cheek weld on that gun, that dot's right there every time.
Chili, show him the top secret thumb rest, man. Show it to him.
What, for the Scorpion?
Yeah. I hope this is okay with Billy. Show him this thing. All right, so this is Billy's new. This is for a Volkortsen thumb rest, and it has 4 positions, right? So you can move it forward and back, and then you also can change the angle on the thumb rest itself, which is super cool.
That is really
Chili, can you talk so that blows up the screen? There you go.
Yep, there you go. So, it has 4 positions. You can raise it. You can move it up a position in that position, and then you can also angle it more kind of vertical in 2 positions. So, there we go. My battery's getting low.
Well, we'll probably wrap up for tonight anyway in just a moment.
Hey, I got a couple of quick questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
On those Seymour dots, do you guys use the standard size, or do you have the ones that have the adjustable size? And if so, which size do you prefer and why?
I run a 12 MOA on everything.
Wow. That's the big, pretty big, right?
That's big. Yeah, I run it on everything because I like that, just picking that big dot up. Because, in Steel Challenge or Rimfire Challenge, there's nothing. I think the furthest you go out, Steel Challenge 35 yards, but it's an 18 by 24 plate. So it's more close range, so I don't see the need in a real small dot. I'm not shooting precision. I want that big dot where I can pick it up real easy.
That's something I kind of I'm noticing more, I guess, to put it. Like, I think the dot I have is like a 3 MOA dot on the 80 optic that I bought for the 1022. It worked out okay for me, but and it seems to be working pretty well, overall, but I kind of would like the larger dot size, like you said, for the plates that are up close. I'm like, I felt like I was looking at this small little pin on a bigger, on a plate like this big when I'm looking at my sight picture. I'm like, really? I could probably have a bigger dot, like you said, up close. It may cover more of the target, but I don't think I need to have it that small. So
yeah, you tend to lose the small dots in the sun too. But
yes.
I got show y'all this stock if y'all want to. So,
nice.
I figured y'all would like that one.
That's very cool.
This is my limited gun, by the way.
Man.
I figured y'all would like that bright color stock. It's a whole lot brighter than it looks on that video on the feed right there.
Oh, that's awesome though. So, Brandon, do you have any other questions you were going to ask?
No, that's it for me. So,
okay, cool.
Thanks for coming on, guys. That's a lot of really cool stuff you guys are doing. So,
thank you for having us.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to cross the bottom of my screen here. Ben, you got anything you want to wrap up with tonight?
No, I just appreciate the time you guys are giving us, and I would encourage anybody to come out to shoot these 2-gun rimfire matches and steel challenge. If you contact the match director and that kind of sort of thing, we can arrange for people to borrow equipment and those kinds of things. So we just want to make it so that the whole family can come out and enjoy this kind of thing. The whole purpose of this is to really grow the sport and to approach the next generation of shooters, because I think that's ultimately the best way that we can preserve our Second Amendment rights is to get the next generation involved. Beat the stigma attached to firearms. So that's what I focus a lot of my time on, I think, and I think it's something that's extremely important for all of us to do, to pass it on. And if you guys remember, I'm 41 years old, and when I was young,
I'm 37, not too far behind, man.
So when I was 21, I noticed that a lot of the older guys didn't want to really help me. They weren't welcoming. If I showed up at the range with an AR-15, they gave me a weird look or something like that. So, I think we just need to really focus on approaching that next generation. We've got to counter the narrative, that's out there, the negative narrative, as much as we possibly can. So hope that whole people, in fact, these matches, we have whole family show up, mom, dad, and the kids, and they all shoot.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, I thought that was awesome what I saw this weekend. It just made me really happy to be part of this. And I can't agree more. You have to kind of nurture that next generation into the firearms ownership. I was having a discussion with somebody at my day job about, how it's amazing to see this. And they said, yeah, that's great, because then these young kids are learning the respect for firearms, and they're learning in a positive manner, versus keeping it out of reach, where it's like that thing that's like, oh, you can't touch this, you can't have this. And now it makes the kid want to do that more, and they're curious about it. And, you're setting that the situation up for potential disaster, versus, going through it in a more educational format and learning, helping that young person learn, versus like hiding that from them, not explaining it to them, whatever, So that's great. I appreciate what you guys. And Brandon, I know I asked you, but I don't know if you got any very final thoughts.
Yeah, I got a new extractor for my slap side, got that put in, and my best group of the day was at 25 yards, about 2 inches. So
nice.
That was that's the best group I've shot with that I can remember. So I was excited about that.
Very cool. Congrats.
Yeah.
So, Chili, you got anything you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, man. If any of y'all come to the matches or anything, like I said, you're more than welcome to shoot any of my guns. Usually Ben's the same way. We've had a couple matches where we just passed our guns around, but yeah, they're free for anyone to use. Yeah, sure.
First time's free, right?
What's that?
First time's free to get them hooked, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's not just that way at you guys' matches. I mean, you go to pretty much any sanctioned match or whatever, and most of the guys are like that. I mean, I do the same thing too. So
I've run into that too before. Like someone has a malfunction with one of their firearms. Like, hey, do you want to use one of mine? Why not? I mean, everybody's there to have fun, And if someone if their equipment's having issues and that's going to ruin their whole day, well, if you can help them out, why wouldn't you?
Yep.
It doesn't make sense not to. At the end of the day, this is like, it's just about having fun and having a good time with everybody.
Yeah, we want it to be a good experience for them where they come back.
Yeah, exactly. We want to grow the sport. I mean, that's one of the greatest things about this, that everybody has pretty much like-mindedness and wants to share and have a good time. And the people are great. All the matches I've been to, the people have been great to hang out with and just have fun with. So it's one of the things I love about this hobby and this sport. You know, even some, you just go on the range even for non-competitors like Kent, right? Because you don't really do a lot of competitions. You know, that's not really your bag of things that you like to do. But you know, you go to the range, you meet a lot of great people, and you have a good time. You know,
it's the same with classes. I mean, I go to classes all the time. I teach classes. We do the tactical Timmy thing, right? But we all treat each other the same way. If you show up and your holster's busted, I don't want you to have a bad class. I'll reach into my bag and throw you one of mine, or what the hell ever. Except I'm left-handed, so I don't get to hand out nearly as much stuff as I'd like to folks. But whatever.
So, do you have any other final thoughts you want to wrap up with tonight?
I do. His name is FN509.
I saw you shooting that thing and smiling about it. So,
yeah.
How many Trijicon RMRs do you have?
That is not a question I answer on public forums, sir.
Yeah, I know.
I shall decline. If you ask my wife, it's the same site. Sophie, I swear to Christ, this is the same site. It just gets moved from gun to gun. No, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6.
Especially when it comes off your Glock.
No, that was a Vortex.
Oh, was it? I thought it was your RMR.
No. That was a Vortex. That video's in production right now for the MOS nonsense.
I saw that. I mean, I saw the clip of it, and you're like, did that really just happen?
No, I said, did that really just fucking happen? Because I was
leaving the profanity out, but whatever.
Yeah, well, channel strike number 3. Anyway, FN509 Tactical. We're putting it through its paces right now. It'll be up on Green Mountain Defense YouTube channel, so you guys will get to check that out. That's my first thought. My second thought is, you two guys, thank you so much for coming on and being here with us, and thank you for what you do for young shooters. That's probably my favorite thing I've heard all night. So cool shit, keep it up, and you know, y'all are more than welcome to come to a class sometime or whatever, and maybe I'll get out the squirrel shooters and come shoot some rimfire with you someday.
Come on.
Awesome.
You might get hooked though.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I get hooked at everything I do, and then just one more rabbit hole to go down.
Oh, don't let Ken fool you. He's sitting on a lot of rounds of 22 that he needs to shoot up, right?
Again, things we don't discuss in public forums.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll wrap things up. Again, thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Ben and Justin, thanks again for all you guys do for the sport and the hobby. Thank you to Tandem Cross for their support of everything that we do. Also to Stripling Custom Guns, and I'm not sure, I can't remember all the other sponsors that were there for this Rimfire Tarheel Rimfire Challenge match, but thank you to all of them that have helped out to make that possible. Prize table was amazing. It's a great event. Definitely would love to do it again. So check it out. They got Facebook. Just look up Tarheel Rimfire Challenge, and you'll find it. And go ahead and like the page. That way you can kind of keep it up to date with any of the things going on with the next one and so forth. So, again, as always, thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, have fun shooting.